Hello, hello. How are you? I hope everything is fine with you. I'm looking for the charger. Oh my god. Let's try our luck without charging it. Just give me a minute, please. It's crazy. This light. Well, let me just write down here the theme of the live of today, the talk of today, which is working with our purpose. With our purpose. Okay, great. So I am Ella Morello, and I want to thank you for being here, sharing with me your time. So we can talk a little bit about new perspectives on how to see, daily feelings, daily situations, human topics. Let's put it this way. Well, there is a lot that is said about purpose. Uh, if you are into this world of self knowledge and self development, you probably heard this in different ways. For example, about Dharma, how to find your Dharma, and so on. So, I want to start this talk bringing up the difference between our life purpose and our work. What do you mean, Ella? Aren't this the same thing? Is it our work or life purpose? Well, no, no. That's uh, far away from the truth. So I want you to. The reason why, actually, let's start from there. We believe that our purpose is related to our work. It's because somehow in this society that we live, in this modern society where we have capitalism in place, therefore, time is money. Therefore, productivity means success, right? Somehow we identify too much with our mind and with the social roles we play in the society. So whenever I ask you, who are you? You're probably going to say your name, and you probably gonna um, say things that you identify with. For example, my name is Ella Morello, and I'm a lawyer, and I am a mother, and blah blah blah. So you see, everything that comes after I am is something that we identify with, right? And that's why there is this huge misconception that we believe that our purpose is somehow our work, and not necessarily. Today we are going to talk how to work with your purpose. Okay, but to start, I wanted to make this distinguish. No, how do you say this difference? I wanted to show this difference for you to start thinking about this from a different place. You're not your work. You're not any social rule that you play. You're much more than that. As of right now, we are working on our self knowledge and our self development. So, this understanding that we are much more than our body, therefore, we are much more than our mind. This is something that when we walk this path together, we realize, we understand, we start, and this is not something we should understand, or we can, even if we try to understand it intellectually. We have to embody these teachings. We have to start experiment these feelings in order to understand actually that we are not our mind. I risk even to say that we are, whatever we are, this mystery, experiencing life through this body that happens to have a mind. But who we are, our true self, is what we take away, is our consciousness. And our consciousness is not our mind. Okay, with that being said, I want to say that, guys, I want to say that our life purpose is to evolve. Okay, and this can mean different thing from different human beings, because every one of us actually have a different purpose. I don't know where, how, or when we somehow made this agreement, or we didn't, but we were born into this agreement right away, and literally we cannot detach ourselves from this. We believe that we have to be and have the same life as every other single human being there is. So if you actually think about it, how come are we saying, with for 7 billion people that have different internal material, that they have to follow exactly the same steps? So go to school and then go to the university, of course, ideally. Then you're gonna get married, then you're gonna have kids, then you're gonna, have this job, and then you're gonna retire, and that's gonna be your life. That's, I don't even have to go too far here, for us to understand that that's why we have so much disease, so much anxiety around, so many people sad somehow. So I invite you to think about your purpose in life, not related to your work, actually. Because maybe your purpose, what your soul or whatever you call came to learn here, has to do with your family, has to do with you becoming a mother or a father, has to do with you trusting yourself. Your life purpose might not be related to your work, because if it is related to your family, let's say, uh, you can do any kind of work, honestly, because the real work, your life purpose, it's going to be related to something else. But today, in today's talk, we're actually going to talk about this purpose in our work many times, because we spend so much time of our life working. That's why people get so confused. I have to work with my life purpose. Well, you just have to, live in peace, live the best life that you can live, because the challenges and the opportunity to evolve, you're always going to find. It's not necessarily in your work, even though you're going to have a lot in your work. Okay, but I just want you to know that, take this misconception away. Your purpose might not be related to your work. However, today I want to talk about you, with you, that wants to work with what makes your soul vibrate. Okay? So, working with your life purpose, let's put it in this way. So, first of all, the first step we have to take is literally to walk the internal walk. We have to know ourselves. We have to have this self knowledge, understanding. We have to walk the path within. So we know what we are, what we want, what is our purpose. And the self knowledge path, as I told you many times, it's not something else for you to add on your list of to do list. It's actually the opposite. As soon as you start, it's a soil that you are creating, it's a soil that you are taking care of, because now you're going to walk on that soil. So, literally, this is not taking time away from you, it's actually adding time to you, because you're not going to hit the same wall with the same root problem, but in different situations, in your work, in your family, in your relationship with your significant other, and so on. So the self knowledge path is truly the only way. Okay, so for us to start, if you're actually watching this class in the portal, I invite you to stop this video right here, go to the meditation, and do this meditation that is called opening space to welcome the human I want to become. Okay, so let me just repeat that. If you are watching this on the portal, go to the tab on meditations and watch the opening space to the human I want to become. Okay, start with that, because I'm gonna access your unconscious, and you're gonna have a lot of material if you still have not figured it out. Okay, what are you capable of and what you want to achieve and so on. And this, I'm talking literally regarding working with our purpose. Okay, so the first question after you then do this meditation is, what is success for you? I truly want you to stop right now for a second and answer yourself. What is success for you? If I go to any place and I ask people, let's say I'm in a bar, and I ask people, listen, having $1 billion in your account means success to you? I bet that at least 90% of them are going to say yes. But I want you to ask yourself this question beyond the obvious. Ask yourself, what is success for me? And as soon as you're done answering that question, I invite you to ask yourself, what is success for me if I knew I am gonna die in a week? And check if your answer changes. If your answer is the same, great, that's success for you. If your answer changed because you knew you're gonna die in a week, then I invite you to rethink what success is to you. Because literally, we live life believing we have eternity, and truly we do. Truly we do. Our soul know what is eternity. But as of right now, with this thing that we identify with, we have a limited time here. So to start, that's the first question you have to answer yourself. And the idea, when you ask me, what is success to you, Ella? Well, my goal is to become the hero of my own journey. That's success for me in every single level of what that means. I want to conquer internal spaces inside of me, you know? And this is the most important work I do every day, actually. But when I ask myself, do I feel successful? I want to tell you that for the first time in my life, I didn't before, because I had, throughout my journey, I have done everything that society told me that was important for a person to be successful. So I literally graduated, found a relationship, created companies. And when I had everything outside that was apparently successful, and I looked inside and all I felt was emptiness, I start questioning myself. What the hell success really means to me? And as of right now, that concept changed for me. I understand that success is to be able to do everything that I do from my true self. Every time I actually am able to overcome an internal challenge, that's a success for me. So I invite you to ask yourself that same question. I also want to remind you that when you are walking your path, not everyone will come along with you, and we have to start learning how to let that go. I'm inviting you to open space to a new way of perceiving and living your life, always looking for new ways of experimenting yourself. So, to start, since we're talking about work and job, I want to invite you to think, what do you want to manifest in your life? What do you want to manifest in your job, for your career? And whenever you are answering that question, do not think on how, okay? Just open your mind and say everything that you want to manifest. What are you working? How many hours are you working? Who is around you? With what do you work? And I want you to actually name feelings here. How are you feeling when you are doing that job? If you have, if you had nothing to lose, if you had nothing to lose, would you try that? Would you try that out? You know, if you think about it, when you don't have nothing to lose, you can always try and you can reconstruct everything. Because the reality is, everything that you believe it's safe in your life might change tomorrow. As we talk here, the only constant in life is change. So, what truly forbids us to achieve our dreams is our fears of losing our status, our fear of losing admiration, our fear of being judged, our fear of being inadequate. I know what success is for me, thanks to all the internal prisons and social conventions I have broken. When my inadequacy became my power, I understood what success was. Truly, for a long time, and whatever your purpose and your work is, I invite you to name these fears. Why don't I allow myself to work with what my heart wishes, with what my heart tells me that I should be doing? And I can tell you a thousand of justifications that your quick mind is going to tell you. You're crazy. You have everything ready. How come you're going to try something? You have a job, even though you hate your job, you have bills to pay. So you cannot risk. What are your parents going to think? People are going to think I went nuts. Oh my God, but are people really going to see me taking the first steps and trying from the beginning? I feel inferior in this way. Whatever it is that comes to you, I invite you to face your fears, because as more as you face a fear, more it dissipates. That's the only way through. You have to go through it. And whenever you look at it, you literally see that huge monster going, I'm not telling you here not to have a plan, but this is another talk where if you are in the portal, you can actually see it on the steps for you to be able to create a sustainable business. So we're going to talk about business, what it needs to get you there, and how to put your talents into your business. But this is something else. Here we are just opening a talk, a different perspective. So yes, you need a goal, you need a plan. You cannot simply quit your job and think money is going to grow out of the tree for you tomorrow to start doing what you want to do. No. But first, let's open ourselves up to understand internally, emotionally, that we need to open space in order to be able to work with our purpose. And for that, we need to face our fears. And for that, we need to tell ourselves what our fears are. Also, it's important that we point here we start questioning ourselves how much we actually trust life. Because trusting life is one of the hardest things that we can actually do. It is. We want to have control. We need somehow to know what the next step is. We need to feel this false sense of security. It's hard for us to trust life. So I invite you to use any tool that you like in order to start releasing control and surrendering to the flow. That's a song I love. That's why I shared it here with you. Anyways, trusting life means trusting our own selves and trusting our process. It's knowing that there is no way we're going to go through something that our soul does not need in order to evolve. Because remember, our biggest purpose is to evolve. And your evolution is different than my evolution. So if we can also work with our purpose, that's great. But in order for us to do that, aren't we working on ourselves? In trusting our ability, in trusting that we are able to actually live the life in our own terms, to actually work with something that we love, that feels good, you know? So I invite you to also think and start opening space for you to understand how much you trust. And also remember, the only comparison valid is, am I better than I was before? The only valid comparison in life is for you to compare yourself to you in the past. And my invitation is there to experiment yourself. As much as you challenge yourself to face your fears, more it dissipates. If you're waiting for everything to be perfect in order for you to start, let me tell you something, you're going to wait forever. So, if you're here following my work, you probably have done already some self knowledge work. And even though you try and try, and things might seem not to go your way, I invite you to do some ancestral cleansing, go deeper, because maybe you're carrying inside challenges of your ancestors, not to repeat them, but to overcome them. And you can use many, many tools, but this, requires like your honesty with your own self. Let me give you an example. Let's say you decided, you know exactly what your soul, what your heart actually tells you, and you know what you want to do. And you try, and you are available to do what is needed to do. Because one thing is, oh, I want to do this, but you're not willing to do the work. And to do the work is, what is it require for me to do this work? If you have to learn things that you don't like, then you have to do things that you don't like. You're going to have to learn how to do that. That's part of the process. It's not just, I'm going to do only what I want to do. No, you're going to work with your talents, but you're going to have so many other things that you're going to have to learn in order to be able to succeed. Right? So be open. You have to have a clear intention. I am open to do what it takes for me to get there. Also, I'm not going to punish myself whenever I do something wrong. As we talked here, the biggest learnings comes from our mistakes. If you're gonna wait until you are ready, until you are the best in whatever it is that you want to do, this day is never gonna arrive. Because whenever you start, is when you start actually learning more and navigating into that and getting better. You're never going to start in the last step. You're always going to start in the first step. So if you want to change something in your life, you have to state that to all the cells of your being, to all your level of consciousness. Everything is your intention. And you say it, from now on, it will be different. From now on, I'm going to face that challenge. From now on, with humility and asking for help, I'm going to understand how to do that is hard for me. So, what do you need to do first? Well, first, you have to create your vision of the future. Feel it without limits. Who is this person that you want to become? Then You will need to be aware of what your limiting beliefs are. And that's only possible, as we know, through the journey of the self. So the invitation is look at your shadows and do not try to avoid them. This will help you understand where inside you limit yourself. With the intentions of tapping into your own inner wisdom, when the consequence, whenever you tap into your inner wisdom, is when the consequences start manifesting in your life without effort. But you have to ask yourself beyond the obvious. And second, ask yourself, what do I do best? What talents do I have that come easy to me? What people tell you that you do best? This is your work purpose. The how, as I said, comes later. There is an exercise that I love doing that I find always really interesting, which is I write down 5 to 10 qualities, characteristics that I think I do good. So I write down my talents and I write down what is hard for me. That's my perception of me. Then I ask different people from different friend circle, my family. Like let's say you ask 5 people, what are my talents and what do they perceive as defects? Let's put it this way. It's so interesting to do this exercise because literally the time that I did this, one of the time I found it so interesting that my first defect that I wrote in my perception was actually the only talent and quality all the people wrote the same, which was my determination. I literally thought I was not a determined person. With all the cells of my being, I thought that. All the 5 people I asked, they said, what I admire most on you, Ella, is your determination. Every single thing you put yourself up to, you do it with excellence. And I was shocked. So this is an invitation for you to do so you can start looking and saying, oh wow. And then I asked these people because I was curious. I'm like, but what do you mean? And this friend of mine, she's like, but what do you mean? Just like you changed country, didn't speak the language. You graduated after 2 years in 2 universities in that language. Then you changed to another country where, again, you did not speak the language. After 6 months, you were able to have a conversation. Then you decided that you were going to go through blah, blah, blah. And she was pointing out these things to me. And I was like, holy crap, you are so right. What was I able to figure out about me? How much perfection is stopping me? How much am I hard on myself? That even though I do all these things, I still believe I don't have what it takes. So now at least I know that this has nothing to do with my determination, but rather with what I believe I'm able to accomplish and how much weight and not kindness I put on my own self. Great. That's the invitation I'm asking you to do. Go beyond the obvious. Uh, Also, remember that everything that you plan to do with your work has to go through your base filters, your pillars. Let's put it this way. Uh, so, again, look at your shadows, face your fears, strip your masks. That is the process. And how do I make my purpose to be my work? Make sure they're all based on your pillars, on your values. Realize that it has nothing to do with how much money you make. It really does not. But rather with how much are you able to enjoy what you make. Whenever people start working with their purpose, with their talents, with things that they are good, the most common thing that shows up is I don't know how to price my work. Because you usually did that work for a long time without charging it. Literally, most of the time. So, you start doing for one friend and then you did for another friend and whatever it is. So, the point is, what is price? Let's look at that. If I offer you a bottle of water for $100, you're going to tell me you're nuts and you're not going to buy. If you are in the desert and I offer you the same bottle of water for $1,000, you're going to pay me. So, is it truly about the water? No. It is about the value that that product has in that person's life in that moment. So, how can you price your product? How can you price the value your product is going to have into someone else's life? That's going to be impossible. Because for someone, that little whatever it is that you do, that little doll that you do might bring so much joy to their kid that that's going to have a value. Maybe to someone else that just placed your doll there as a decoration, it might have a different value. So the whole invitation when you start working with your purpose is how much time do you spend in order to create that? How much um, how much do you need to survive in order to be able to create that in the best way possible? Because even though if you are working with what you love, but you're pricing that incorrectly, you're pricing that too little, that means you're going to have to produce 2 times more in order to be able to eat. Let's put it this way. So at some point, you're going to be taking your life away from you. So working with your purpose is going to have no value because you're letting go all your energy, your vital energy inside. So the question, whenever you're pricing your work with purpose, is not the other person. It is how much do I need in order to give the best of myself? How much do I need to charge? How much do I need to sell in order to be able to live my life in the way I want to live my life? So I also invite you to start thinking about the value, the price of your service, of your work, the thing that you love doing in this way. So again, uh, create a vision, but be flexible. Most importantly, learn how to say no. Whenever we are working with our purpose, a lot of times, if we are not, if we're just starting, we might feel insecure and a lot of things, right? So be sure to do the internal work. Be sure to be able to say no, feel everything, and learn how to put your limits. So, again, another thing for you to think about: how do I communicate what I need to manifest? When I open myself, I receive answers. Answers start revealing themselves to me without effort. But if I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing and going based, literally, I have this vision, but I come with all my fears and I don't know how to say no to people, and I work more than I should, and I price my product really little, I'm not gonna have time to actually offer my purpose to the world. Not gonna have energy. So ask yourselves, communicate what you want, open yourself to receive those answers. Ask help. How should I communicate this? So you start seeing the value that can also bring to the other person's life. So offering your true self with an open heart is how you work with your purpose. You're ready to become the person you already are. Remember that every whisper, everything your heart knows, it just gets shut down by your mind, and your mind works with fear. So start doing anything that is possible for you. Use any tool to start being able to hear your heart, the whispers that you hear, the things that you want to do. These are messages from God. This is message from your higher self. That's what you should be doing. That's the path you're going to be walking, that is going to open yourself to the most opportunities of evolution you will have. Hear those whispers. Do not silence them. Do not allow your mind to silence your heart. Uh, Again, through the journey of the self, you'll start being able to clearly notice these limiting patterns. They might be, I maintain myself small to be loyal to those who I love. So many other things that can come up. So again, it's not about negating the system. I start talking about the capitalist system, right? And how much we identify the mind. It's not about, I'm not here telling you that money is bad. I'm not telling you that we have to be against capitalism. I'm inviting you to be conscious about the system that is in place, because the invitation is for us to start infiltrating the system from the inside, transforming from the inside. How much hours a person should work, with what a person should work, what is the value that a person can bring to this world with her or his talent. It's going to be much more valuable than sitting there answering emails. We all came here to offer something, and whatever we came here to offer is unique, but we don't allow ourselves to even get to know these talents. How many people came to me and say, I don't even dream anymore. I don't even know what my talents are. I had to work my whole life with so many things that I don't love that I don't even know what I like. My dear, I invite you not to waste your life. Whatever age you are, there is still time. You just have to learn how to organize yourself, face your fears, but allow yourself. Whatever you came to bring to this world is unique. Your medicine is unique. My medicine is unique. Everyone's medicine is unique. Everybody has something to contribute to the evolution of all human beings. So I'm inviting you to start working and open yourself to say, yes, that's true. I'm willing to do this work. I'm willing to share with the world my talents, what I came here to share. Which again, that's why comparisons makes no sense. No one is equal to the other. Don't compete with the other. Compete with who you were years ago. And if you want, truly send me a message here if you're not in the portal. I can send you exercises. But if you are in the portal, if you follow all the steps, we go through all these self-knowledge tools regarding work. And then we go on how you can open yourself, your small business. Then we go on how you run all of that. So we make all these ideals become our reality. So if you're part of the portal and you want to start working with your purpose, know how to plan yourself and so on, go watch those that module. And if you are not and you are interested, just send me a DM. I'll be happy to share with you a couple of steps and exercises that might help you, have this first step, this first courage in order to start working with your purpose. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being the human you are. I hope you can share your talents and your uniqueness and your individuality with everyone that crosses your path. It's not everyone that is going to come with you. Remember that. No one. Everyone is here because we're in the same level of consciousness, but everyone is learning something different. So don't try to be that person that wants to have a product that will sell for everyone. Make sure and be happy that whatever you share your product or your service, you're making a difference in that person's life. We are all here to share and exchange, but we are not here to consume for everyone. And we are not here to share for everyone. And that's the beauty of it. That's why there are so many of us. But give yourself a chance. You're living this life. Give yourself a chance to to change your work, to change, and by that I mean work with something that actually you see value on it. And if you have to be in that job, it's okay, but start finding purpose in that job then. Most of your life you're going to spend working. Are you simply going to throw that and bury it in complaints and bad feelings? So I don't think so. It is a choice, dear. It is truly a choice. I'm not saying believe in magic and don't do anything about it. I'm not saying that. But let's start working on yourself internally to open space to believe you can. And when you truly believe that, the universe, you give the first step, the universe puts the soil. Okay? So thank you. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.